London's East End, famous for its culture, market stalls, and in particular its outstanding graffiti. But is it really as great as all that? I travelled to Aldgate East to find out more. Street art, or graffiti as some may call it, has been around for decades. Some could argue that it has been around since when man was painting on his cave wall. The kind of street art we know is of course the kind with spray cans, which was developed in New York in the 1960s. The 1970s was the golden era for subway tagging, which soon got out of control and became a huge problem. Now, of course, there's so much graffiti in London, but what actually is it? Basically what it is, it's... Thanks, Tim. Graffiti, writing or drawing scribbled, scratched or sprayed illicitly on a wall or other surface in a public place. So what is street art? There has always been a very controversial view on whether graffiti is art or vandalism. With some people being very artistic with their work, street art looks beautiful. However, some people aren't graffitiing to be creative, they simply just want to write offensive words on buildings. But not all graffiti is just words on a wall. Sometimes it actually can convey a serious message. For example, this one is by a guy called Otto Shade and it's called Taking Back Happiness, and he wants people to be aware of different countries around the world such as Afghanistan and Syria, and how that children are being robbed from their childhood. Fun fact for you as well, Otto Shade also donates all of his profits to charities, so ain't that nice of him? Now, although these are beautiful pieces of art, they are still actually defined as graffiti because they are illegal and have been put up without permission. Graffiti can be a nuisance and it is expensive to clean up. So, should it be allowed to happen? In places like Shoreditch, Camden and other less privileged parts of London, graffiti happens almost without consequence. It even attracts tourists and, more importantly, money into these areas. What's interesting is actually seeing this work on both sides of the course. So one side, artists get to show off their creative work, and then the other side, the shopkeepers have an increase of money. But if this is constantly a threat by the government going to erase them, then obviously there's always going to be name tags around and tacky stuff, instead of amazing artwork. However, I'm sure there'll be some who say this art form will actually make people afraid to visit an area because it is associated with thugs and hooligans, which will result in lack of tourists and messy streets. Brick Lane certainly has a strong attraction to it because of its excellent street art. But it doesn't change the fact that it does damage property and it's still illegal. What's your say?
Every day we are bombarded with images of perfection through the media. A recent study featured in The Guardian found that men worry more about their body shape and appearance than women do. More than 80% of men talk in ways to promote anxiety about their body image compared to 75% of women. 38% of men would sacrifice at least a year of their life in exchange for their perfect body. I decided to take part in the photo shoot to raise awareness about this issue. There's these abnormally beautiful people in the world who go through so much to look like the way they do, and it can inspire people to look a bit better or be more healthy, but it can also make people feel bad about themselves. Up until recently I was quite unhappy with how I looked, so I joined the gym, started losing weight, and that's how I became who I am now. I've seen how much models have to go through female models not being able to eat as much and male models having to go to the gym all the time. I'm going to question how happy they are, truly, because it seems like that sort of work every day just isn't worth it for me. Now that my image is about to be manipulated, I don't feel scared, I don't feel worried at all. I never have been about my personal image. I'm quite excited to see what's going to happen and what I would look like. Instead of looking in the mirror and focusing on your flaws, Look in the mirror and appreciate your best features. Everybody has them.